I still don't have my bag, huh?
Nope. Your bag is.
I'm still wearing
Chicago.
I'm still wearing your Crocs.
My bag is still there too, Miles, so no worries.
Yeah, but more importantly, my bag's not here.
Tyler's so worried. I have Tyler's new boots in my bag.
Yeah, and Becca's present.
Yeah, that's true.
Oh yeah. Yeah, we went new boot goofing.
We did. New boot goofing, new Croc goofing, new loafer goofing.
Yeah, we had a field week. Feels good to be back in the studio though. Hey Jared. Good to see Jared.
Good
Jake,
audio wave.
Could have gone without seeing you today.
I'm so sick of you two.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Why are
You
we
two
doing
are the
this?
Worst.
We've been confined together for 9 days straight, and then we decided to do a podcast together.
This was
Yes.
a terrible idea, guys.
It was.
We had lots of laughs. We
So
had
many.
lots of cries.
Dude, I didn't cry. Did you cry?
Wait, what? You guys didn't cry?
What?
Okay, yeah. Yeah, me either. But again, feels good to be back. You Betcha Radio, episode
12.
112 of You Betcha Radio. It's been a long time since you've been on the front of the camera, Tyler.
Yeah, it has been. I feel weird. I wore my suit. Feeling good, looking good.
Yeah, you're lucky I didn't make you wear a suit today.
Yeah, well, I didn't know.
I don't think you would have. I think you'd be just be like, screw you.
Okay, Miles, I'll sit in the producer room instead.
So yeah, the Nashville is where we just got back from. For those who don't know, we spent, well, it's supposed to be 8 days. We spent 9 days there.
Yeah, in Nashville, we were there for 7,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
Or less, a little less, because
think-
then we went to Bristol.
7 on the nose because we got in on Sunday and we
Yeah.
were going to leave on.
And
And we
we're-
left Saturday.
And
Oh,
we're gonna dive into all of that.
Yes.
But before we dive into our trip to Nashville, we want to talk to you guys about fairwaymeatmarket.com, baby. It's March Madness. It's all about the madness meat, baby. March Madness is almost over. So you got to go right now. Go to fairwaymeatmarket.com. You got to find the Meat Madness package. It's got all sorts of good stuff. Some burgers, Wagyu burgers,
baby. Some skinless brats.
brats, bacon. It's got all kinds of meat that you're going to want while you're watching March Madness games and having people over to your house, maybe grilling outside. It's starting to be grilling season.
Championship game buffet. Just a meat buffet.
Yes. Oh my God. Fairway Meat Market, meat buffet, meat madness everywhere. You got to go to Fairway. And if you use code YouBetcha, YOUBETCHA, one word, You Betcha, you get $50 off.
Yeah, with it's a discount plus free shipping, which is about $50 off.
Yeah. So it's normally $150. You get it for $100. That's a lot of meat for $100, especially those Wagyu burgers. So again, head to fairwaymeatmarket.com, pick up some meat, and have yourself a great March Madness, even though this comes out, it's April, but
Have a mad March Madness.
have a madness March of meat.
Yes.
Go
Buffet.
to fairwaymeatmarket.com. Use code Betcha right now. All right. So Nashville,
Yes.
after the dust has settled, how do you feel about Nashville?
Love Nashville.
Oh, sorry. Nashville.
Nashville. Oh, yeah. We learned that you can't say Ville in Tennessee. It's Vull.
Ville is such the Midwestern way to
Which is
say it.
unreal because every town we went through, except for like 3 in Tennessee, was some sort of Vull.
Cooksville.
Cooksville, Knoxville. We went through Asheville, which is just Nashville without the N.
Yeah.
Lots of Vulls.
A lot of Vols. Maybe that's why they're the Tennessee Vols.
Volunteers.
Yeah.
Wow.
Starting to make more sense now.
It is.
Starting to make more sense.
What if they called them the Volunteers because they don't call Vills, they call them Vulls?
Opposite.
Yeah, volunteers.
So what do you, was it, you like
Yeah, I had a
Tennessee,
blast.
Nashville?
It was.
I did too.
I think it was, I would have probably got bored if we weren't going there for work as well. It was nice to have like that structure of bang, bang, bang. We're going to go do this content, this content, this content. And it was like a happy accident that we also got to see a shitload of Nashville by doing all that content.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
If you're going to Nashville to party, definitely you fly in a Thursday night, maybe drink Friday, Saturday, and go home Sunday.
Yep.
It's going to be pretty much all you need.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
We kind of did the locals experiment. Don't you think? We were basically doing what locals do, like all the singer-songwriters of Nashville.
Yeah, we went to Midtown instead of Broadway.
Yep, and then we went to like all the recording studios, and we went to some houses, and we got a pretty good taste of Nashville, guys.
Of like living in Nashville.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yep.
totally. Nashville, I mean, the touristy stuff, I think a little overrated.
You ask me to take it or leave it, I'm going to leave it.
Yep.
It'd be fun to do though.
For a weekend.
Yeah.
Yep.
It'd be fun, but I'm glad that we didn't do that this time around. But we showed up in our cowboy boots and cowboy hat.
Looking touristy as hell.
No one wears cowboy hats in Nashville.
They surprisingly dress very normal.
Yeah, they dress like normal people, which is funny. 'Cause I imagine it's like the same shit with where we live. Like, oh, North Dakota, yeah, like you guys still riding horses to work.
Better get my overalls.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like up here, you can always tell if someone's from out of town because they're way overdressed for the weather.
Yep.
yeah,
Snowsuit.
park on,
Snow boots on in May.
They check their snowshoes.
yeah. But honestly, you go to the bar and you just realize that people are people. It doesn't matter what part of the country you're in. Everyone does the same stuff. And
even like these country music, like musicians and stars and stuff, are just normal ass people that can sing well.
Yes.
That are very talented musically. Otherwise, they're so normal.
Yeah, we met a lot of cool dudes and gals.
Yes.
Dudes and gals.
Gals and dudes.
Dudes and dudettes.
Yeah, we went
on this trip. What was really cool is just even like the record companies, all of them that we met with, they were all phenomenal and great hosts. And
yes.
But yeah, doing the local vibe of going to a bar that isn't on Broadway was a very nice thing. I'm glad we did that.
Yeah, me too. We are basically, if we ever go back to Losers, so we went to Losers, 4 times in 7 days?
We're big degenerate losers.
We are.
Yeah. Also, classic Midwest move for us to pick one bar and go nowhere else.
This is the bar I know, okay?
And that's the thing. Every time we go back to Nashville now, we go to Losers, they're going to know.
Nobody's going to know.
We're regulars. They're
going to know.
They are.
It's because we're like the only people drinking Busch Light in the whole bar, and that's,
And we drank a lot of it.
We drank a lot of it.
Yes.
Bucket after bucket after bucket. Little bone to pick, though. Would have been nice to be able to get pounders instead of 12 ounces.
Hey, that's a song. One more bucket.
You get a bucket. We get a bucket.
Oprah with the bucket.
Just give me one more bucket.
Yeah. We'll work on that, Tyler. I didn't love it off your tongue.
Well, I'll write it.
Yeah, and many of you know that I am an aspiring songwriter, so naturally I got my fix there. So I can identify if that's a good song or not now, like instantaneously, now that I've gotten into that culture and, talk bridges, song bridges.
I do triangles.
I blew some people's mind when I started talking about a song bridge, and I said that bridges are all about making triangles, and no one seemed to understand what I meant. If to build a strong bridge, you just try and put as many triangles in the design of the bridge.
And then structurally sound.
And it structurally makes it stronger. Did you know that, Jake, before I said that?
I mean, yeah, I did. I'm an expert
he's
on
an
everything.
expert on everything.
I did know that.
He's a bridge expert.
Did you ever play that stupid bridge building game in like physics class in high school?
Yeah, you didn't make enough triangles, did you? That's
no,
why
I didn't.
Lost. You're like,
I was the classic, I hate this, so I'm just going to lay a bunch of sticks on top of each other.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. We need to practice making some marshmallow and toothpick bridges here in the bunker.
Maybe that'd be a good activity for you guys to participate in.
I got a lot of work to do after this Nashville trip.
Nashville
trip.
It was fun. I'm glad to be back though.
Yeah.
There's this. I love it when I go to a new area of the country that I haven't been, and by the end of it, I'm still feeling like, okay, let's go home. Let's go back to Midwest, because the Midwest is best, and that's truly how I felt by the end of it.
So like, what did anything surprise you while we were there?
This didn't really surprise me, but I thought it was fascinating because I never thought about it. That they have like a touristy like party buses with like the open top.
Yeah.
There's one rolling around with a hot tub in the back.
You never watched Parks and Rec?
You imagine just a town in the Midwest that just someone's driving down the road with a bunch of people drunk in the hot tub?
Dude, we got to start that. No one's doing that.
We do. What would we call it?
And then in the winter, you can just play like pond hockey on the hot tub.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
maybe.
we'll workshop that.
Okay.
again.
We need something to do in the winter on this.
What would we call that? Tubs of fun.
Tub and run.
Yeah, we'll work on it.
Yeah, that needs a little
The
work.
tub tour.
The tub tour.
Yeah.
I kind of like that.
Yes, to see all of the 5 things of interest here.
All right, here is the downtown area, and
Here's the uptown area.
yeah, that was not surprising because it was like it totally fit in. But just thinking about the idea of having that anywhere else would have been pretty wild.
Yeah.
Maybe that's our shtick here is that we have a hot tub and then you also have like a polar plunge cold bath in the other one. People can
Back and forth.
Yeah,
we
back
would do
and
that
forth.
in high school when the ice would start coming off the lake. We'd
Close
go to
the
a buddy.
yearbook, Tyler.
Yeah, it's wide open. We'd go to a buddy's house at the lake. You jump, and the ice was just coming off. You jump into the lake, super, super cold, and then run back to the hot tub and get in the hot tub.
Yeah, you're rolling the snow or whatever.
Yep.
Same
Yeah.
shtick.
Yeah.
Such a dumb thing to do.
It's so dumb.
Just sit in the
There's
hot
no
tub
point.
like a normal ass guy.
Yeah. I mean, there is a point when you're in a hot tub, though, where you start to get a little bored and like you have to make the decision. Do I stay in the hot tub or do I get out? You don't really want to get out because it's going to be like you're having a decent time, but you're still kind of bored. That's when that shit starts coming out, right?
Yeah.
With 3-4 beers too, you start to feel a little more
I bet you
adventurous.
won't run and touch that tree and come back in the middle of winter. Like in high school, you know?
Tyler does have a point though. You get a couple beers in you in a hot tub and you start to get a little bit too uncomfortably warm.
Yeah,
a little
it
bit
gets
too-
hot.
Yeah.
It's weird that you get hot in a hot tub.
Yeah, that's
You know?
unbelievable.
Why would they do that?
I don't know. Give me a lukewarm tub.
Did you anything surprise you in Nashville?
Nashville, just the entire music industry is so much different than I had
It's
pictured.
much, much smaller than people think.
Yeah, everybody is connected to everybody in some way, shape, or form. And the process of like their music studios, like you can record a legit ass song.
A legit ass song. You
A
heard that
legit
here?
ass song.
Legit ass.
That's
anywhere.
That's a real term, right?
Yeah,
A legit
it's-
ass.
You can look that up in the music dictionary. But you can do it anywhere. Like if you have a good microphone and the right software, you can record it in my office right now, which is bananas to me. I always pictured like the giant soundboard where the guy's got his headphones on and the dude's in the padded studio session.
There is that too.
I know, but
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
Jake, you're the expert.
Yes.
Correct me if I'm wrong. They record like a demo version of the song anywhere.
Yeah.
And then once they get to the point where they want to cut it and
Yeah.
put it on an album, then they go into a studio like what you're talking about and actually record everything that way.
Yeah, that's true. Yep. Yeah. So like,
I knew expert.
yeah, you have to cut a demo first, and then if you want to shop around, then like, say you're trying to sell the song to someone, then you find someone, they pick it up, and then go to a full studio.
Still, just listening to the music that's been recorded in backyards, it sounds pretty goddamn good.
Yeah. Yeah. That blew my mind that it was, that's how it's being. Well, it makes sense though.
Yeah.
It's 2021.
Mhm.
We can literally do anything on a computer.
I'm just so stuck with looking at like watching movies with like musicians, you know, and it's always like, all right, we're going to go record this song and you have to go to this nice ass studio and there's like 15 people
I
sitting.
think it's because that studio space costs so much that people just started figuring out how to do it on their own.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And then like, so now I'm sure that like the top dogs have a studio like that they go to that they can write in every day.
Mm-hmm.
Also, like they do writing sessions at like 11 a.m. for a few hours or whatever. I would do a writing session in the evening.
Yeah, that's when you're the most creative.
Yeah, I would if I had to write a song at 11 a.m. It'd be tough, but I guess it is their job.
I suppose. Well, they should be writing them at 9 a.m. then, 9 to 5.
Yeah, when the sun comes up, you better be running.
Classic Great Depression, Tyler. Yeah, I get up at 6:30.
Well, sorry, some of us actually do work in the morning, Jake. Not just sit around.
Shade.
So yeah, I would agree. The country music industry is much smaller than I anticipated. Everybody knows everybody. and that sounds like a country song.
It is a country
It
song.
is I was gonna say, everybody knows everybody, and they, I don't know. It's just not that many people are like making decisions and writing songs and producing songs for the entire country music industry. You know what I mean? Like it's a much smaller group than you think.
Oh, yes. Yep.
Like you would think that it was thousands and thousands of people, but it's not. It's like
Hundreds.
if
Tens.
that
Yeah.
under 100 people that are controlling the entire industry. Not like controlling like bad, but just like that make the decisions and are writing the popular songs and doing all that, which I found fascinating.
Yeah, and we talked to a lot of people about it. Our lineup for the next month is country artist after country artist. So get ready for
So hopefully you guys like country because
No
dial in, if you don't, whatever. We love country music. I think a lot of people in the Midwest love country music. And speaking of people who are helping push country music forward, and those whatever, we have our guest today, Hardy. He's one of those guys.
Yes.
You may not have known that he's wrote songs. You may not realize like kind of his influence on country in the last however many years, but he definitely has.
He's big time writer, now turned big time star. Like he wrote, hold on one second. I know he wrote Up Down.
Yeah.
He wrote God's Country. He wrote, he might've wrote Cruise. I have it written down.
Yeah. Pull that up. But what I like about it is that he has transitioned from writer to now his own career, and he's putting out music himself because I think I really like his sound.
He wrote Simple as well.
Yep.
A bunch of Florida Georgia Line hits.
Yep. Well, but the thing is like, listen to me saying sound like I just know, like, I'm in the industry, I like his sound. But I truly do. I think his new album that came out, what was it called again?
The album is a Hicks tape, or that was the last one.
A Rock.
A Rock is a song on it.
Yeah,
I think it's A Rock.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you got to go check out that album because it is great.
It's very good.
There's like 8 songs on it or something, and like 5 of them I regularly listen to.
What we forgot to ask him why all the titles of the songs are in all caps.
That was my one question. Well, we're gonna have to go back and ask him again.
Yeah,
but great dude. Hardy is
very relatable,
good vibes.
Yes.
Also very, very well spoken. He's always talking about his song Rednecker, Unapologetically, Country as Hell is one of them. So you're expecting a little bit rougher on the edges. He's a very polished up country dude.
Put together.
Yeah. I was very impressed at how professional and everything he was. That's what we're going to say over the next how many weeks before we introduce him on here. He's a great dude.
Such a good guy.
Great gal.
Yeah.
Yep.
But truly, I feel that way about it. So, that's quite the intro we gave him, but I think he deserves it. And so next up, we have our guest on, Hardy. But before we get into that interview, I want to talk to you guys about holiday gas stations. As you can see here, I am a little jet lagged. I'm a little tired from our trip to Tennessee. The best way to really perk up and get through the workday is with a nice hot cup of holiday coffee. Usually that's when Ryan interjects, Tyler, when I'm drinking.
I was drinking mine.
You're literally clearly haven't had enough coffee today to be able to interject there.
Could use about 3 or 4 more cups.
Well, we'll get some for you because we need you on, and you were off there.
I was.
So, Tyler's going to be heading to Holiday immediately after this podcast so that the rest of the day isn't ruined like that sad read just was by him not participating and me having to make weird noises into the mic like
delicious.
Very good.
Wow.
Holiday coffee.
Wow. The aroma.
The aroma. This just warms my heart. You guys go to Holiday gas stations. They got everything. They got gas, petrol, as we learned in Australia. If it was in Australia. Petrol, they got car washes, they got snacks, they got energy, They got water. They got all the stuff that you're
Car
going
wash.
to need. They got hot food.
Yeah, they do.
They got roller dogs.
Bosco sticks.
Bosco sticks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The whole shebang. So head to Holiday gas stations and pick yourself up some of all those goodies. All right, here's our segment with Hardy. So you just had one of the biggest moments in your life the other day on the golf course.
I did.
Can you talk me through a hole in one?
Yeah. So it's kind of a crazy story. So it was our 20th hole of the day. We had played 18 already, and we decided it was me and one other buddy, and he's a lefty, and I'm a lefty. And so we decided to play 9 more holes. It's just like the prettiest day of the year. You know how it is. And we were just like, dude, let's get
vibes
more
are
in.
good.
Yeah, it was great. So so we make our second turn, if you will, and I was like, dude, since we're both lefties, let's make it interesting and just play out of each other's bag.
Okay.
And so he was hitting all my clubs and I was hitting his. So it was hole 11 on the back nine. So it was our second hole of the 9. And I hit it with his 9-iron. I hit the hole in one with his 9-iron.
So do you just put that in your bag then?
Yeah.
This is mine now.
He gave me his 9-iron and I was like, well, you can have mine and I'll probably like order or whatever. I'll get another one of my 9-irons. But dude, I was playing golf yesterday and I'd kind of forgotten about it and I was playing by myself and got up to a par 3. I might have even been the same hole. And for a second, like I wasn't thinking about it and I pulled it out and the grip felt weird and I looked down and I was like, oh shit, I forgot I had this 9-iron.
Yeah.
You got to put that on the wall now.
I think I am. I don't know if that's like a normal thing to do, but I don't know if I'll ever have
But you
one
got a
again,
hole in
so
one.
Yeah.
So
I just want to get the whole thing, dude. Just have a shrine.
take the flag and everything with you.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Go
The
back this
entire
weekend.
flag. I might
Yeah.
actually
Well,
do
you
that.
got a hole in one, so you can do whatever you want. If you want to frame the club, if you want to whatever.
The course is it's not like the best course in Nashville, but it's really cool. And the guy, so I wasn't expecting anything, but the guy went up back to the clubhouse and the guy was like, "That's awesome, man!" Filled out like this form, and they have like a plaque that they get made, and it's got a little
nice.
trophy that like has like I think it's like a big plastic tee, and you hang it on the wall, and you put the ball on the tee and all that kind of stuff.
So do you get to celebrate like it was a hole in one, or do you have like stuff going on
Yeah, like-
the rest of the day?
I kind of had stuff going on.
Oh man.
Yeah, I know, but I think we shotgunned a beer. I did enough, But and then the other funny thing was they have beer. It's not like your typical clubhouse. It's just like a
Yeah.
building you go in. It's not like it's kind of a out in the country. Sort
That's
of
like
deal.
what most of the golf courses are where we from.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
They don't have a big
Okay.
clubhouse. So
Right.
we know what you're saying.
And so I got up there and I was like, in my head I was like, I want to buy everybody a beer. And I could see a bunch of carts up there, and I was like, "This is great." And the beer was cheap. Like maybe I'll get out of it for like $100, and just go around and say, "Anybody that wants a beer, go inside. It's on me." And I get up there, and I go inside. The guy's name is Jonathan, and I was like, "Man, it was kind of more carts than usual." And I filled out the form, and I was like, "So, all these guys up here, what are they doing?" And he was like, "Oh, it's a church event we do on Tuesday nights where all the members of this one church come out and they play 9 holes." And I was like, "Great, see you later." But it was great,
I
man.
actually buy them a round of wine.
Yeah.
Communion.
Well, I don't think they were Catholic. Where I grew up, it was like, okay, if you were Catholic and drank, but nobody else.
Yeah. Yeah. So kind of an anticlimactic hole in one story, but yeah, no one could take that away from you.
Yeah, it was awesome, and man, I hope I don't spill that spitter. I'm just gonna leave that over here.
It's your guys' couch, so
Yeah,
if
that's
you
true.
want to.
Forgot
Go
where we were
ahead.
for a second. No, it was great. It really was, and it was a big high cut, dude, and it hit on the right side of the green. It was just screaming across the green. Being a cut, it's
Mhm.
green was like kind of a hard green, and just took off, and I mean, we knew it. It racked the pin. We could hear it. It was the whole thing. We knew it was one of those where I know a lot of people that couldn't tell if it went off the back or went in and that thing, but there was just no denying it. It was pretty awesome.
Yeah, that's sweet, man. So, let's talk a little bit about where you're from, where you grew up, kind of
Cool.
how you got to where you are now.
So I'm from a town called Philadelphia, Mississippi.
Okay.
And
Confusing.
Yeah.
City of brotherly love.
Yeah. And it's like 8,000 people. There is another country artist there that's from there. His name is Marty Stewart.
Okay.
I'm sure you've heard.
Yep.
He wasn't like a big commercial country guy, but he's kind of a legend in the like bluegrass, and he's like very big in the Grand Ole Opry and all this stuff. I mean,
Yep.
he's a somewhat of a household name, even though he didn't have a lot of like radio success. But,
Yep.
so he's from there, and when growing up, my sister was the singer, and my parents, we were a very musical family, and my dad didn't play any instruments or really sing or anything, but he loved rock and roll, and he really put that on me, and somewhat even forced that on me when I was a young kid. And so we all loved music. My mother played piano and sang in church. And so we had this whole thing. But my sister, she was a singer, and she was really popular in my hometown because she would go around and win like these really big contests. She is and still is like an incredible singer.
Yeah.
And so growing up, that was kind of always her thing. And I didn't, that was her thing. And, I
Yep.
played baseball and I played golf and just was a boy, a regular kid, and went to I grew up, I started picking up guitar when I was probably 16 or 17, and kind of picked it up pretty easily and learned just a few chords and all that.
What was the first song you learned? Do you remember?
Smoke on the Water,
Okay.
which is like everybody's, that's like
that or Wonderwall.
yeah,
Yep.
if you don't know
Yep.
how to play guitar, that's like your party trick is you could still play Smoke on the Water, right? So my sister, by the time I was a senior in high school, she actually came to Belmont, which is right here at the end of Music Row.
Yep.
And it's the biggest music, if you want to make it in Nashville, this is the perfect school to go to.
Mm-hmm.
And in the meantime, I had learned guitar, and when I was a senior in high school, like I wrote a song, and it was shitty, but it was a song, and
Well, yeah, we'll get to that at some point here. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
so I wrote the song, and my sister hit me up and was like, "Hey, mom and dad said you wrote a song. Like, I think that's really cool." And so I go to junior college, and I start playing this one song for people, new friends that I'd made and all that. And I mean, honestly, for lack of a better term, their mind was kind of blown because nobody really like did that. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And they were like, "You wrote that? Holy shit. Like, that's crazy." And I think, and then I started writing more songs kind of based on their reaction. It was just like a thing. I was like, this is kind of cool. And people actually like some of the stuff I'm doing. And so in the meantime, my sister was like, "Hey, I've heard you're like writing songs. I just wanted to let you know that in Nashville, there's a whole industry around publishing, which is where you get paid a salary to write songs for country artists. Because believe it or not, like, people like Jason Aldean, they don't write their songs. They sing them,
Yep.
but other people write them." And I was like, no way. And had no idea what I wanted to do with my life. I was not doing well in school. And so long story short, I just kind of on a whim was like, I think I'll move to Nashville and try to do the writing thing. And went to college here, Middle Tennessee State University, which is like a little less than an hour away, and majored in songwriting. But really it was more about like majoring in the music business and learning like all of that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
I got a communications major, and my dad thought that was bullshit. What did they say about songwriting?
I will say my parents were very, very supportive. The people around me, even some of my outer circle friends and sort of the talk of the town, thought it was bullshit.
Yeah.
And
Who's laughing now, though?
Yeah,
There we go.
to a certain extent, the class itself, sorry, MTSU people or staff, but the class itself was bullshit. It was.
I think most people say that about a lot of college courses, though.
Yeah, I agree.
It's like I
Yeah.
took.
You're an exercise scientist.
I am an exercise scientist.
Now
if
you're
you can
doing
believe that.
podcasts.
Yeah.
There you go.
I took a class called the walking fitness. You just walk. So that's what your
That was
degree
just
gets
the
you.
class. Was like,
Yep.
Yeah, you just go.
What were your tests like?
Oh, you just had to show up, and that's how you got an A. If you just showed up, which, believe it or not,
If you
it's harder
if
than
you took
think.
a bike or drove to class, did you fail? Did you have to like walk to class?
Just walking all the time.
That's
All right, I want you to film yourself walking around, see what's going on. No, that's I mean, that's honestly, it's like what it sounds like is it was almost your talent was good enough to where it was like it almost forced the like world is like forcing you into becoming a songwriter. Is
I think
what
so.
It sounds like.
Yeah.
Which is like the coolest way to do it, I think. So
yeah, and I've always said that a lot of I mean, not even a lot of like now don't get me wrong, I've worked very hard to get here, but my big turning point or cornerstone moments in my career have just like happened.
yeah, what was the first one?
Well, this is another crazy ass story, but when I signed my first publishing deal, it's with a guy named Dennis McCoskey. Dennis McCoskey is from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. His mom is from Philadelphia, Mississippi, and his mom and my great grandmother were sisters. Yes, that is right. So Dennis and my grandfather are first cousins. I had only met him one time at like a family reunion or something. And I always knew that I had this cool cousin. He's an older guy. He's in his 60s now.
Yep.
And I always knew he was a big pop writer in LA back in the 80s. He wrote Maniac, which is like, she's a maniac.
Oh,
yeah. And so that was like his big thing. But anyway, so I always knew that I had this cool cousin that was a songwriter in the industry. But I didn't know like what he could do or what he could do for me. So I never really reached out to him. So I was putting music on YouTube, like songs I'd written and like just covers or whatever. And he wrote on my Facebook wall. Remember that? I don't even think that the wall is the thing anymore. It might still be.
Yeah, no, I know what you're talking about.
It's only for birthday wishes these days.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
And he just said, "Hey, Michael, I see you're doing some stuff. I would love for you to come by and play me some stuff." And I guess that was just kind of the only way that he had to contact me. And so then I got his number, and it was, he is a relative at the end of the day. So it wasn't like weird or anything. And I think I got his number from like my mom, and I just called him, and I went over there and I played him like 20 songs. And then we worked together for like a year. And then he had a publishing deal lined up. One of the publishing companies that he was going to go in with to do a co-venture thing backed out like at the last minute. I was devastated. So and at the same time I was doing a little bit of artist stuff. This was before I decided not to do the artist thing the first time.
Yep.
And I went and played. I somehow landed this gig in East Tennessee opening for Rodney Atkins, and we got like $3,000 out of him. And if now in the like knowing what touring is like, that is insane, because like I think my first run with Morgan Wallen, which was like 30 shows, he paid me, which is fine. It's kind of a rite of passage, but $500 every show. So to get $3,000 was unheard of. And I didn't know that at the time. But anyway, long story short, that publishing deal fell through. I made this $3,000. I paid my band, and I essentially survived off of that money for like 2 months so that I could write more songs and to see if I could build my catalog and represent that to a publishing company. Long story short, I wrote one song called Dog Years by myself. It's this really sad song about your dog dying, whatever. And he took that song and went back to that publishing company, and they decided to sign me. And that's like kind of where that was where the first.
Did that come out right around the time Marley and Me?
Yeah.
When did Marley and Me come out?
2008-ish.
Yeah, I mean, it was shortly after, a few years after. Yeah.
Good timing.
Yeah, I guess it was good timing.
Yep.
And nobody ever recorded that song, but so that's like how I got into the industry, and that was definitely my first big like turning point.
Yeah, and then ever since then, you've had some major songs that you've written. And now your last album was absolutely crushing it for sure.
Thank you.
But we got to go back to what you were saying. That you wrote a bad song. You're a great songwriter. There's got to be one song that you wrote that takes the cake on like the worst song you've ever written.
Like worst as in just lack of skill.
Whatever you would feel
The
awkward
lyrics were
singing or
ridiculously
giving to
bad.
someone.
Yeah.
Like almost maybe not embarrassing, but maybe cringy.
Cringy's a good one. Yeah.
I wrote a song. called Summer Started one time with a guy, and it was about it was about this girl that you were dating and you had a pregnancy scare,
Yep.
Been there.
but summer started. So I think I'll drink a beer. Does that make sense? Like,
yeah. That's not great, is it?
Yeah. It's a funny song, but listening back, I was just like, oh God. That's probably up there. And the first song I ever wrote was pretty bad too.
What was that one about?
It was just called Caroline. It was just a pandering like song about it was about like I ran into a girl. I wish I had a recording of it, dude, because it like there's so many holes in the plot. And you listen to it and you're like, well, how did you get there? I met a girl at the grocery store and
Produce section?
probably.
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
where they all happen.
And yeah, right. Picking out heads of lettuce or something. And
My head went somewhere else, but
oh, my man.
sorry.
But I remember like I got her number in the song, and then the second verse, like she went away. Like she was like, I'm leaving in 2 days. And I was like, okay, but then I got her number. But then like I suddenly knew like where she lived in the next verse, and I went to like go find her at her house, and I found her address. Anyway, it was pretty.
You Facebook stalked her.
I guess
Yeah.
You wrote on her wall.
backstory.
Yeah.
You wrote on
I
her
wrote
face-
on her Facebook wall,
Yeah.
hey, Summer, I like some of the stuff you're putting on YouTube. I'd love to come hang out sometime.
So on your newest album, you got a song called Unapologetically Country as Hell,
Yeah,
which is a great song, by the way.
thank you.
It's like one of those where if you're drinking with your buddies,
Mhm.
everyone just starts chanting the chorus. And
Yeah.
that's like, those are my favorite kind
Dude,
of
that's
songs.
why we wrote it. We wrote that in the attempt to sound like an Irish drinking song.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Totally what the vibe is.
Yeah, it's almost anthem-esque. Like
Yeah.
it's a drinking anthem.
Dude, it probably will never be a single, like we'll never push that to radio, but it's still I would argue the biggest song of the night when we play it live.
Oh, I
People
believe
just
it.
start going nuts. It's awesome. It's my favorite part of the
Yeah,
night.
it's definitely an anthem. So we're gonna do a little segment kind of where we just kind of talk about some of the most country as hell stuff that we've done.
Okay.
So I'll start. So I think one of the most country things I've ever done is I drove 6 hours to meet up with some guys to shoot some guns. And the reason why is I'm a big Bush Light guy. You like
Oh
Bush
my
Light as
gosh.
well.
Speaking my language.
And they Cerakoted a gun with the Bush Light logo on it. So I was like, I gotta go
Oh.
shoot this gun.
That is so redneck. I got to drive 6 hours to shoot a gun that's wrapped in Bush Light gear.
Yeah. And then, well, the icing on the cake was I get there and there's a chest freezer sitting, 200 yards out. And I'm like, what is, they're like, yeah, we put 6 pounds of tannerite in
Tannerite.
there.
I knew you were going to say that.
And,
Let's go, dude.
and then I got all the pressure, right? Cause they put like a little duct tape on where I should hit it. So that it
Right.
hits the tannerite. And, then he got all the pressure of the people watching.
Yeah.
So I missed like by like a few inches the first time, and I'm like, oh God, if I can't hit this thing, the next time blew it. It was unbelievable because it was just gone, just absolutely just
I
nothing
love that,
left
man.
of that. So that was pretty cool.
That's so. What kind of gun was it?
I don't know. They
Was it
actually
a rifle, obviously.
yeah. But they had like these guys were like the gun guys, so
Right.
they had like 15 lined up, and so it was hard for me to remember which one it was.
We've
'cause
got
we
a
shot
video
them
of
all.
it somewhere.
Yeah, somewhere
I would
we
love to
got it.
see it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we'll
we'll
find
show
it.
you.
You got?
after.
Do y'all are filming, right?
Yep.
Could you put that in the? Could you find it and put it in the
Yeah.
thing?
Yeah, absolutely.
I would love to see that.
Yeah, we'll show you after this for sure.
Awesome.
Holy shit. What do you got? What do you, I mean rednecker, what you're doing in that
The whole
that
video.
video is
Okay,
Is-
that I have two that come to mind. I mean, dude, these days, I mean, I still try to get out and I do what I can, but dude, growing up, man, I have so many stories. I mean, so many stories. But so the rednecker thing made me think of one. We have a family farm, if you will, back home.
Mm-hmm.
And we have like an 8-acre pond, and my grandpa put catfish in it a long time ago. And somebody told him along the way that he loves to brim fish, or like what, I don't know, brim is what you call it in the South, but just panfish, like perch or whatever you want to call it.
Yep.
And he found out that big channel cat like to eat like fish eggs, and they hurt your bluegill population in your pond, right? So he freaked out, and we had a few big catfish left, and we pull up to the pond one day, and he just gives me a shotgun, and he was like, kill every catfish that you see. And I went out there and I threw a bunch of feed, and I just went to go into town every time they would
felt
come
like
up,
a
dude,
mobster.
boom. And it was so like, I was like 8, and I was like, this is fucked up.
Self-aware at 8.
I was not expecting you to say you were 8 years old in that story.
No, I was young, but dude, we did it. And then we got out in the boat, and we scooped them up, and we drove down the road, and we gave them to this guy that lived in this house. I don't even know if it had electricity, dude. It was just the most country.
How was there anything left of those fish is what I'm
mean,
wondering.
you'd be surprised. I obviously, man, this is fucked up.
You
But
use
like
bird
shoot him
shot
in the
or
head,
what?
so there's no meat in the head, you know? Yeah, just bird shot.
Mhm.
Like 7 shots, something that was like, you know, very, very fine or whatever.
Right.
Anyway, and we gave the catfish to the dude. And the other one that comes to mind, and both of these are inhumane, like super inhumane. But at the time, I didn't know any better.
I mean,
You're like 8.
It's humane. They didn't die on the shore. They died right away.
I mean, that's true. And they didn't like suffocate to death on a stringer in a bucket. I mean, that's very true. Also, I don't really care. But my dad was a chicken farmer for like 15 years. And you know, not like chicken coops, like industrial 100-yard long chicken houses, 27,500, like that. But those were egg houses, so those chickens were in crates, as opposed to this just being a floor full of shit.
Yeah.
Can I cuss on here?
Oh yeah.
I used to vaccinate turkeys, so I know exactly what you're talking about.
Exact same thing, right?
Yep.
And 27,500 chickens in a house. The floor is just shit. And you could scoop the dried shit up, and under it would just be thousands of, they called darkling beetles. It was the craziest thing. Anyway, so every 7 weeks they would send a crew out there to catch the chickens, and it would be like 5 dudes. And I'm sure you guys have seen a poultry, like a chicken truck going down the highway, and it's just crates full of chickens. I don't know if you've ever seen that. So they would come out and they would catch them, and they would throw them by hand. And by the end of the thing, it wasn't the exact number, because they always, you know, a ton of them die, but 25,000 chickens by hand. But they would always leave the I guess you could say defective chickens in the house. So there was always 30 or 40 that were runts, or literally that had 3 legs, or just something crazy. They would always leave those in the house. And so my dad would hire my friends and I out to remove the chickens of every house. And he literally had, I hope this is okay that I'm telling this, I'm sure it's fine. He had a bucket of broken broom handles, and like there was an actual instrument that you used to pick up the dead chickens. It kind of, you ever seen people with the snake hook, you know, and they catch snakes? Really similar to that. And we would go into each house and just chase chickens down and just beat them to death, dude. And it was like some of the reddest shit I've ever done, but I did it 100 times, man. And it was kind of crazy, because you would just 3 or 4 teenage boys just running through a chicken house, just chasing a chicken down and just swinging at it and it was just, that's what you had to do.
Yeah.
I won't say the company he works for or whatever, but that was what, you had to get rid of them somehow. And then, you couldn't just leave them in there, because you had to take a tractor in there, and anyway, it was a whole thing. But I would say that's probably number 1 behind shooting the catfish.
Yeah, that's pretty country. Running around with a stick beating chickens. I'd say so. Well, that's what we were looking for, man. So
right.
We knew you'd come up with something. So kind of the last bit that we got is we like to do a segment on this podcast called, you know, you're in a small town bar when, and we just kind of start riffing off of all the stuff. So for example, you know, you're in a small town bar when the bartender's got your drink on the bar when they see your
that's the first one I thought of.
That or you know, you're in a small town bar when they're on the wall. There's like that metal chip hanger thing. You know what I'm talking about?
Little clip to hang small bags of chips.
Like,
Oh yeah,
yeah,
totally.
Yep.
like you're not gonna
Yep.
see that in a.
You've got a sour cream, an onion, Lay's,
Yep.
and under that you've
It's like
got
all
the KC
Lay's.
Masterpiece Lay's.
It's local brands in a bag of Doritos.
Yes, dude.
Yep.
And you even have maybe the box of either M&Ms or the peanut butter crackers like in the back, you know,
yeah.
for sure.
Yeah, they got like the full candy boxes just sitting there. And
Yes.
they're like 75 cents for a
Like that's
Snicker
gonna sober you up, buddy. You're good to go. You're good to drive now.
bar. Yeah, take a Snickers and go on your way, man.
Yeah. That's good.
You got any you know, you're in a small town bar when?
Go ahead.
Yeah, please.
We'll get her started. You know you're in a small town bar when there's a jukebox in the corner that doesn't work.
Yeah,
Yes.
Mhm.
for sure.
So it's just playing off of someone's like personal Spotify
Yeah.
over the whole radio.
They've got the jukebox, but their own speaker system is actually playing the music.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's a good one. Gosh, I don't know. I will say this. I don't have a ton of experience with it. My county was dry until like 2014.
Really?
So I've been back. We have one bar in my hometown now, and I've been back since then. But I will say the one thing is, and I don't know how to include this in the sentence or whatever, but like everybody that you went to high school with, kind of thing, that never left, is there like every single night. You know,
Yeah,
Yep.
it's like a high school reunion every time
for
you. Go
you,
back.
for them, it's
Yeah.
just life. Like,
It's Tuesday.
It's Tuesday night.
yeah.
You come back. You're the one guy that got out of town. You come back for Thanksgiving break in college, and it's just high school all over again.
Dude. And it's honestly a blast. Every time I've gone, it's a blast. That's a tough one for me though, man.
I can't believe that you Dry County.
Dude, Bible Belt, man.
Yeah,
And I mean, dude, you should have seen the Facebook wall posts and Bible verses and scripture that was getting quoted by every like small town. It's like Christian Karen almost. You know what I mean?
I know what that means.
Like Isaiah so and so says this, and I mean, like, because liquor stores started popping up here and there, and yeah.
oh
it was-
yeah, I imagine there was a lot of pushback for that. But it's like, isn't everyone like, well, everyone's already drinking anyways. So
yeah, but nobody, you know, that's the old church joke is, what's the difference between a Baptist and a Methodist? A Methodist will speak to you at the liquor store.
there you go.
So everybody drank, but you didn't talk about it. Like it was not discussed, you know.
Yeah.
Definitely not.
Big time Footloose vibes.
Yeah.
Going- drinking and not
No
dancing.
drinking or dancing
Yeah.
in your town.
Yeah.
Cool, man. So are you excited to get back out there on the road and stuff?
Yeah. We've actually we have shows this weekend. We have we're doing a run in Georgia over the next 4 weekends where we play like 600 or 700 cap rooms, and we're doing like 2 nights in every town.
Yep.
So we'll, like, this weekend we're in Milledgeville, Georgia, and then we'll just come back, and then the next weekend we're in like Rome, Georgia. But I'm pumped. We actually had band rehearsal for our new set last night, and it was, dude, it felt.
Is everyone a little rusty though?
You know, not really. We actually we did a run in Florida because Florida's been wide open since before COVID, right?
Yeah.
And
Well, COVID doesn't exist there.
right,
So,
yeah,
there you go.
you're right. And so we did a legit run in Florida, and that was in November. And then we did what did we? I just did an acoustic run with the guy Co Wetzel in Texas.
Oh yeah.
So I feel like it's been a sort of a smooth transition as opposed to like, holy shit, we're about to finally play shows again. We've eased into it, but dude, no, my band is awesome. They work really hard. I mean, they rehearsed all day, and I showed up at 7 and we just ran through the set one time and they didn't miss a beat. So
That's sweet.
it's awesome.
One thing about your band though, so we were watching your YouTube show a little bit. So we had Devin Dawson on our podcast.
Oh yeah.
And his brother is drummer.
Yes.
Your bit about calling him Devin Dawson's brother is electric, by the way. I wanted to let you know.
One time we were playing a show, and I did it like 5 shows in a row because I would introduce the band. And I was like, give it up for Devin Dawson's brother. And I wouldn't even say his name. And And he's a funny guy. And he was like, dude, if you do that tonight, I'm just going to stop playing. And that motherfucker did, dude. For like 2 bars of music, he just sat there and he let all the tracks the guitar players played, and he just stared at me. And he was like, he started playing again. It was kind of awesome.
I love that.
The bit died. So we obviously have a million bits because we're together all the time. Do you have a bit like the Devin Dawson's brother bit that you always do that'll never die no matter who gets upset?
That only you and your band know when you're up on stage. Like,
oh, so many, dude. Oh my gosh, so many. My tour manager Sam, also a really funny guy, and there's a song that I have on. I put out a thing called Hicks Tape like a couple years ago, and there's a song called My Kind of Living, and there's a line in there about pump before you pay at the Texaco. It's like a small town shit, and we all look over at Sam, and he's always doing like that, like pumping the gas every single show. There's a. Do y'all follow Catatonic Youths by chance? It's like it's a Instagram page. It's incredible, and they find like YouTube videos of like very low budget bands or music videos that are just terrible, and they post little clips of it. It's really funny. But there was one that they posted of this Australian freestyle battle, and this guy he's not even rapping. It's just like crazy, but you can tell he's like having a panic attack because he's like choking, and he just keeps saying, well, let me just say this. Well, let me just say this. And so I'll sneak that into my set, like as I'm talking, like, and you know what, man, like we're all drinking tonight, and let me just say this, and I always kind of catch Sam, my tour manager, in the corner of my eye, and he's usually like bent over. And dude, we have a ton. We have a lot of them.
Yeah. I love that. All the inside jokes.
Well, you have to, man.
Yep.
It's got to be. It has
sane.
to feel like a joke. Not a joke, but like you just have to have fun, or it's just not fun, you know.
But it makes it all the better too when you got thousands of people listening to you and they have
They
no
fucking
clue.
idea. Yeah.
Just you and the guys on the stage.
Well, like even us. So one of our bits is a guy's never seen The Office, and I quote The Office all the time. And guy's name's Ryan. So every time I do an Office quote, I just end it with like, well, Ryan would know.
Ryan wouldn't get
And
it.
literally, we're driving in the car here, and Ryan's not even here. And I said the Office quote, and then said Ryan wouldn't get it. He's not even here. So
That's awesome.
yeah, I get the bits, man.
What's your favorite Office quote?
Ooh, there's so many, but one of them is the Michael Scott when he says, "Would I rather be feared or loved?" Easy, both.
Both.
I want people to be afraid of how much they love me.
That's such a good one.
Good. You Office guy then?
Oh man.
What's your favorite one?
Probably when he burns his foot, and he brings the guy in the wheelchair that owns the building to make a spectacle out of the whole thing. And he says, how long does it take you to brush your teeth? And he's like, I don't know, 30 seconds. And he goes, oh my God, that is 3 times longer than it takes me.
That's a great one. He also kind of in the same light, he brings in the old guy who's actually started Dunder Mifflin. And then like
Robert Dunder.
He starts doing his old man. Well, you know,
yeah.
Robert was a tall
guy. Yeah, yeah.
He just gets impatient, just shoots him out.
Yeah, he goes, all right, well, thanks for coming by. He sends his own proxy.
Yeah. I love that. So, yeah, man, this has been fun. I appreciate you coming on the podcast.
Yeah, thank y'all for having me.
Yeah, cheers, man.
Absolutely. Appreciate it.
Well, that was wasted.
Not the interview.
We all clear we were like, this is on.
We're
right?
on. Yeah.
Yeah. So we caught Sleepy Jared again. He fell asleep at the helm again.
It's okay, Jared. We'll just get you some holiday coffee too.
Did she get us all decaf or what?
She must have.
Well, all right, let's just wrap this podcast up. Well, guys, we had a phenomenal beginning to this segment, but Jared fell asleep at the wheel and we didn't get it recorded. So now
It was like a good minute too.
Yeah.
It was good.
It was good. So I guess you had to be a fly on the wall for that convo.
Yep. No one will
Basically,
know.
though, what we were talking about is great Hardy interview.
Great Hardy interview.
Great guy.
Yes.
Great guy.
Very, very relatable.
Great guy.
Yeah,
Great,
well polished.
Great guy.
Yeah.
Couldn't be a better guy.
He's what I like is that he's also a nice guy, but also a great guy. He's a great guy.
Yeah, I like that he's really nice.
Could be more professional, that guy.
Can we talk about the actual interview?
Yeah, well, they just listen to it, so they know.
They know.
Yeah.
They know. We still don't know why he capitalizes all his song titles, but we will get to the
figure
bottom
that
of
out.
that.
And his name too.
Yeah.
All right, so we met with a bunch of people, which you'll be hearing over the next however many weeks, the podcast interviews and stuff we did with artists. And then at the end of the trip, we're like, hey, we're in Tennessee. NASCAR is going to be in Bristol, in Tennessee that weekend. Let's go.
Uh-huh.
So we got tickets. We got a hotel. We had our rental car. And we drove 4 hours to Bristol, and we're like pretty excited for the race. Wake up on Sunday morning, move to Monday.
Yeah.
We had a flight on Monday, and it's a 4-hour drive from Nashville. So,
Not to mention that we drove 4 hours through a flash flood.
Yeah, we just accidentally missed a legitimate natural disaster.
yeah. So, hope everyone's okay in Nashville about the flooding that happened. I know it was dangerous.
Very.
So my heart goes out to those people, but we got lucky. We dodged it somehow. We literally left Saturday afternoon.
Yep.
Over the night, it flooded, and we came back Monday, and it was like it almost looked like nothing had happened much.
Well, when we took off from Nashville and we were flying over, you could see where the river was overflowing.
Right, but like in
But
terms
as
of
far
just
as the
like the
streets
city,
and stuff,
it was not like it was from the video footage that we saw.
very different style of flooding than we see here.
Yeah.
We have slow, gradual stuff. It was legit flash flooding.
Yeah.
It was over a night and then gone the next day.
So we went to Bristol. We were a little peeved that we went to Bristol for nothing because we're like we're not gonna postpone our
flights, which we should have.
We should have. Oh my god, what a frustrating thing. So NASCAR moved to Monday. We had to drive back to catch our flight Monday afternoon, so we missed NASCAR. Then we wait on the tarmac, pulled away from the gate, and waited an hour.
45 minutes. I timed it.
Hour and 45?
It was an hour and 45 minutes, our takeoff time, late from our original takeoff time.
So we missed our connecting flight because there's no straight shot from Nashville on that day. So we had to stay overnight in Chicago.
Which I could not be a bigger critic of Chicago. Not because of the city or the people, but because of the situation Chicago put me in.
You didn't see any of Chicago, Tyler.
I saw a parking ramp in the inside of our hotel room.
You saw the airport hotel at O'Hare, and that was it.
So don't listen to Tyler. He's not an expert on this.
Chicago, great town.
I will take the heat from all Chicagoans. Not a fan.
Oh my God.
So we ended up landing in Chicago. Completely missed our connecting flight, and we're like, okay, we got to get our bags.
Well,
because
then we had to buy a new flight because it was going to be like another day in Chicago.
That's true.
So we bought a new flight. So we literally should have just bought a new flight on Tuesday and went to the NASCAR race, which is a nightmare because it was the first time they had put down dirt on Bristol in like 50 years.
Literal NASCAR history, right?
Yep. So
first time in the modern era.
Which it was tough sitting at the airport and watching the race happen. Like, man, we should be here.
It was more disappointing watching Miles be disappointed because Miles is a huge NASCAR fan. I've never been to a race. I was excited, but I'm not like the NASCAR fan that Miles is.
Well, for me, it was like that I was excited for my children to see NASCAR as well. I was like excited for you guys to check out a NASCAR race.
Jake and I were just playing Smash Bros in the airport on my Switch, and Miles was just depressed watching the race.
Yeah, that sucked. And on top of it all, we lost our bags because they didn't make the flight.
Yeah, so we miss our connecting flight. We stay in Chicago at night. We get back to the Midwest. We get back to Fargo on Monday morning. Our bags are supposed to show up Monday night.
Tuesday night.
Excuse me.
Tyler got his. Me and Jake didn't get ours.
Yeah, Jake and I sat in that airport for 3 hours. We're like, oh, we can pay for parking because we'll only be in there for an hour, and then that's $1. We were in there for 3 hours trying to figure out what the hell happened to our bags. The dude from United would not come out of the back room. We went and talked to security. We sat on the phone with United forever.
I didn't know that you were in there for 3 hours.
Oh, yeah.
So then parking cost us $3.
Oh, my God.
Which also the fact that parking only costs $3 is the most Midwest thing ever.
It is nice.
Yeah, I mean, but yeah, so the bags have still yet to be found. Miles, we went to Bass Pro Shops, as you can see by my hat, Tyler's hat. At Bass Pro Shops, we also got me a little badge that says
He
sheriff.
keeps trying to work this into
He's
this.
so proud of his
Guys,
badge.
I'm so stoked on this badge. Miles bought me a little badge that says Sheriff Jacob on it, and it's still in my check bag, lost in Chicago.
We'll get it back one day. Hopefully.
Yeah, I don't know. All of my like important stuff's in that bag too.
Supposedly it'll be here tonight.
I have like 3 pairs of cowboy boots, a pair of my New Balance shoes.
Oh my God.
Oh no.
The ones I wear in the videos are in that bag.
That's not
we
good.
need that bag.
Bad.
Plus, you can't buy a new pair of New Balances because if they're brand spanking new, like bright white New Balances,
Well,
it's just not,
I can wear them to church then, you know.
well, that's true. Yeah, it's your
Yeah.
church shoes.
But
Okay.
your mowing shoes are gone though.
Yeah. Ugh, this is what a nightmare situation.
Yeah. I blame Chicago.
I feel like random shit like this happens to me way too much.
So like we were saying, the trip went too well. It went too smoothly that we had something coming.
Yeah.
You know, everything was going great. We weren't late to anything. The content was all good. We had good times at the bars.
Can we talk a little bit about the good times at the bar?
They were a blast.
They're fun. You guys struggled a little bit on this Friday night.
Oh yeah. Jake, we both threw up.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, me and Tyler had a little bit
There's
too much.
no sugarcoating it.
Yeah.
I made it back to the hotel first.
Well, you did the Houdini move and just disappeared. And honestly, I'd be worried if he disappeared. But I was like, he's a Boy Scout. He'll figure it out.
I got back to the hotel.
But you missed the hotel, didn't you?
I did. I walked 1 block past it.
Really?
Because we're locals, we're regulars at the bar. I went out the back door of the bar instead of going out the front door and walking up the same street. So I went the other way, and the street splits without you realizing it. So I walked 1 block past the hotel and had to turn around.
What were you doing?
I was tired. I wanted to go to bed. It was like 1:30 or something.
Yeah, and then Jake and we hitched a ride to a diner.
To the most hole-in-the-wall diner ever. Like,
And we're like, this food's going to be so good because it's like this shitty restaurant, you know, like a diner you would see in like a old movie, right?
this is like the Pulp Fiction diner. Is
Yeah,
where we're
man.
at. Yeah.
But even shittier.
Even shittier. Like the food, you
And-
could buy a stack of pancakes for like $1.75.
Yeah, there was like
there.
7 of us, and we ate.
Cheaper
It was
than
like
parking.
it was less than $50 for 7 of us to eat.
Yeah.
Jesus.
And the most disappointing part is the food sucked.
That's bad.
You can't be that bad of a diner and then have bad food on top of that.
That's where the trip started going downhill.
Yeah.
I
We
really-
shouldn't have gone to that diner.
That
We cursed the rest of the trip.
You guys should have Irish goodbye'd like me and walked back to the hotel.
Yeah, you know me though. It's the
That's not your Mr. Social Butterfly.
drinks are flowing. You know. Oh, you want to go to a diner? Yeah,
Of course,
I'm hungry.
does the diner sell Busch Light?
Plus, if you were gonna Uber Eats or DoorDash anything in Nashville,
Holy
it
shit.
takes like 3 hours to get. So that was my only shot at food that night.
yeah.
And then the next day, we met up with Seaforth, and they will be on the podcast at some point here. It's gonna be funny because we were very hungover for that
We
interview.
were pretty green in the gills that whole time.
Well, I was fine.
Yeah, I couldn't have been finer on that side.
The whole podcast interview is Miles asking one short question, those guys saying something in an Australian accent,
me
and then
just
Miles
laughing.
giggling.
Yeah, I felt-
Couldn't be nicer guys, though.
Nice guys,
Great guys.
great guys.
Yep. More-
Well put together.
Extremely professional guys.
Well spoken with an Australian accent.
They're not only nice, but they're great.
yeah, they introduced us
professional.
to the. Do we want Jared to be in on some of our bits?
Well,
or not?
we got to wait till the interview comes out. Tyler.
Oh, true.
He's just spilling all the beans right here, right now.
I didn't.
Right now, right here.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Next
Jared,
week.
we speak in bits. You wouldn't understand. It's Nashville language.
Nashville. Yeah.
Dig,
I
dig.
don't understand anything you guys are saying.
Dig.
Right now. No inside jokes.
Jared can't understand.
Love to
the
be a part of
audience
one
can't
day.
either.
Yeah, maybe someday, Jared, you'll get an inside joke once.
Hey, hopefully. Can't wait for that.
Dig.
Yeah, I tell you what, though, life is good on the porch.
It
and
is
that's
so
all I gotta
good
say.
on this porch.
Jared wouldn't know.
He wouldn't get it.
No idea.
Oh my god.
All right.
Me and Tyler, we got to get to the airport to go pick up me and Miles' bag.
What a fluffer situation.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
I tell you what, though, a little bit of a fire hazard
Who? What?
situation.
No, that's good. Remember?
No, it depends. Oh, you guys wouldn't get it. All right. Basically, to sum it up, Jared's so mad.
What's going on?
Basically, to sum it up, first half of the week up until Friday, phenomenal.
Couldn't have gone better.
Friday to Tuesday, tough.
Chaos.
Chaos.
Not the
Chaotic.
kind we thrive in either.
No, it was sucky. But we'll be back. We're gonna meet up with some more people. We're gonna meet up with the people that we hung out with this time. It's gonna be fun, and I'm looking forward to going back. But glad to be back in the Midwest. I want to be here for a while. I missed it, and so guys, I think that concludes episode 112.
12. Do you want me to rattle off the list of upcoming guests?
Sure.
So today, this podcast, you just heard Hardy. Next week, we have Mitchell Tenpenny. After Mitchell Tenpenny, we have Seaforth, the Australian duo. And then after that, we have Priscilla Block.
That's a good lineup.
Oh, Fillmore. Fillmore is before Seaforth. Excuse me. It goes Tenpenny, Fillmore, Seaforth, Priscilla.
We got a lot coming at you. If you love country music, this is your stretch of the You Betcha Radio podcast that you're going to really love.
Mm-hmm.
And especially if you like nice guys and gals.
Yeah.
Really
Yeah.
well put together.
really
Great
nice
people.
guys
So
and
nice.
gals.
Yeah.
Great. Honestly, great guys and gals.
Yeah.
Well put together, guys and gals.
Professional.
If you like well-spoken guys and gals, this is the podcast.
Yes.
This is the podcast
For you.
that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, guys, thanks for tuning in to episode 112. I'm Miles, You Betcha Guy. May your ranch always be runny. Your bush lattes forever be cold. Cheers, Tyler.
Cheers. Life is good on the porch, my guy.
Wow.
Rise of lights.
Oh, you betcha, yeah.
Yeah.